And what will come as a surprise to no one, I really didn't enjoy Ghostbusters Afterlife. I think a lot of it depends on you buying into the premise, and frankly, I didn't. Egon, being a deadbeat dad, can't bring himself to contact his friends after all these years. It didn't seem likely. It just didn't seem to fit. You know, he couldn't have just gone, "Hey Ray, remember Gozer? Gozer's back." Would it have taken that much? It did what it could to work around the fact that Harold Ramis is dead. But it just didn't hang together for me. The first hour is so slow and boring. And then there's a part of the film where it completely breaks down. And that's whenever the Walmart scene happens. Once I get to Walmart, the film really comes apart for me. It just really doesn't hang together. It's almost like the filmmakers go, whoa, we need to reenact the entire third act of the original Ghostbusters. And to what end? It was just bad for the first hour. Nothing happens for the last hour. Everything happens. And it's not good. And again, it all hinges on you buying into the premise that Egon would be a deadbeat dad, when really, if we're being honest with ourselves, we know it would be Venkman. Would be the deadbeat dad out of all of them. There's fan theories that Oscar is his child, and he's unaware of that. Gee, that's the thing. Even as I'm talking about it now, I'm like, well, there's a better idea. Why wasn't it, about Oscar being a deadbeat dad? Because the film was in '89. Oscar is at least in his 30s. It's perfectly feasible that he could have kids by now. And yeah, just the whole kid and grandkids thing just didn't buy into it. And the fact that they hold off from naming him like it's some kind of, I don't know, big reveal. Is it a big reveal? Because they go for so long without mentioning Egon Spengler's name. You're like, who are you keeping this a secret from? The wee girl practically looks like him. The wee girl is very good. She's probably the best thing in the film. And she's really just doing the best with what she has to work with. They give her this character trait of cracking jokes, and it's just not good. It is just not good. Again, it doesn't seem like... Here's the thing, Ghostbusters is not like an emotional film. It is a gag film that just so happens to be perfectly structured. Whereas this... It's almost like it's not even that it's about the Ghostbusters. It's more like here we all love Ghostbusters. It's more like here, do you remember being a kid when Ghostbusters came out? Because everything is treated with such deference and respect. Stuff that doesn't even need it. Like they call back to the Crunch Bar and the Twinkie. Oh, sorry, it made me cringe. But there's other stuff too. Like they even call back to the maid kind of bookmark. Or the thing in the door. In the first Ghostbusters, there's on the door to Venkman's office, somebody's written Pete Venkman, rotten hell. But there's a wee hanger from a hotel on a doorknob saying, "Made this room needs serviced." That's in it. And then the marquee in the cinema has Cannibal Girls, which is on the marquee from Ghostbusters 2. So there's all this. Look at it this way. This is how I described it to someone. Imagine you are a lady. For some of you listening, that might be easier for you. Imagine you're a girl and you've pulled, basically. And so the first guy is this absolute obnoxious person, and as they're shagging you, they don't give a shit if you're enjoying it. They keep farting during it, which is off-putting, and they keep like kind of, I don't know, spitting during it, and then they get their jollies, and they do not give a crap about what you think. It's an awful experience. It'll never happen again. But you cannot help but have a little bit of respect that guy did things on his own terms. And the second guy, you can probably already guess where I'm going with this. The second guy is like, goes too far in the opposite direction. He's almost like too respectful. As in, between each thrust, he's going, is this okay? Is this okay? I'm not hurting you, am I? Is this okay? Is this okay? And at a certain point, you're like, would you just hurry up and fuck me? So like the obnoxious farty guy that's Ghostbusters 2016, and the overly respectful guy who just leaves you drier than the Sahara, a regular fanny dehumidifier, that's Ghostbusters Afterlife. It was just not good. And I should really wrap it up there, but my word, I just really did not like it. Then they have all the old Ghostbusters show up, and they're just far too old. Like the youngest out of the living Ghostbusters is Dan Aykroyd, and he's 69. Nice. But they're just far too old. They get clattered against a car at one point, and I'm just watching it, and you're like, they're all old. Their fucking hips are destroyed. Alone. But it's not good. It's not funny. I love Ghostbusters. It's my favorite film, but I cannot have Bill Murray. And I know that seems so strange, but when Tarantino was on the Joe Rogan podcast, he put it really well as to why he kind of doesn't really like Bill Murray films, and kind of by extension why I don't really like Bill Murray films. And that is, the first half of a Bill Murray film is him being an asshole, and then the second half is him realizing he's an asshole and apologizing to everyone. With Ghostbusters, the Pete Venkman character is not your typical Bill Murray character. If anything, he's more of a Chevy Chase character. Starts as an asshole, ends as an asshole. He doesn't change. He's on a, what some writers may call a flat arc. It's not in a flat arc, kind of like Die Hard's kind of a flat arc. Kind of. A flat arc is basically the character doesn't change. It's kind of everybody around him changes. They're like an instrument of change. So that's kind of why I like Ghostbusters. I don't consider myself a Bill Murray fan. I think Groundhog Day is brilliant, but there's a load of other stuff. Like Scrooged is not funny. I tried to rewatch that like last Christmas. It is not good. But yeah, sorry. But my main point about Bill Murray is that, they keep cutting to this, spoiler alert, I don't know if you care. They keep cutting to this CGI ghost Harold Ramis. And it is so cringy because you're like, Harold Ramis is dead in real life. And it has like Bill Murray apologizing to Harold Ramis' ghost and being like, hey buddy, miss you buddy. And you're like, you are the reason, there was no, Ghostbusters 3 while Harold Ramis was alive, because you hated him so much. Because now, to be a mind reader, a lot of Bill Murray's early success, is to do with, I'm sorry I keep saying, but a lot of Bill Murray's early success is to do with Harold Ramis. He wrote Caddyshack, directed it as well. Bill Murray had like a big role in it. He was in and co-wrote Stripes, which was a big hit for Murray. And then he wrote Ghostbusters with Murray. And he wrote and directed. Well, he didn't write all of Groundhog Day. He might have had something to do with the writing. I'm not looking it up. I'm not too clear, but like he didn't write all of Groundhog Day. He may have had a co-writer credit on it, but he directed it as well. And I think Bill Murray, and again, this is me being a complete mind reader, Bill Murray kind of resented the fact that really Harold Ramis is kind of responsible for the love and respect that the majority of people, bar me and probably a few others, have for Bill Murray. I think Bill Murray is used well in Wes Anderson films where he's not the main character. Bill Murray is a good supporting character. But yeah, he stopped Ghostbusters 3 from happening. He basically fell out with Harold Ramis, and then right towards the end, he made amends with him on his deathbed. What happened between them, I don't know. It's just it just something doesn't sit right with me. Him being able to apologize to a CGI Harold Ramis, this guy who kind of basically helped make his career. but yeah, that's me just going off on one. I just, in short, I don't like Bill Murray. Harold Ramis is the secret genius behind Bill Murray, and I don't think he gets enough credit for that. And I'm just kind of like, when I'm watching him going, hey, buddy, sorry, buddy, you should have been in contact more, buddy. You're like, yeah, you should have. You should have. Sorry, I'm getting quite angry about this, but like, it just riles me up that he gets to have this kind of celluloid happy ending closure with this guy. And it's like, it's total fucking, fake. It's a fabrication. Janine shows up for a cameo, and they're talking about the value of this, this old shack. And she goes, it's worthless unless you count the sentimental value, and that's pretty much Ghostbusters Afterlife. If you are probably a really big Ghostbusters fan. You know what? Let me rephrase that. If you're a really big Ghostbusters fan, I don't think you'll like Afterlife that much. If you're like someone who's like, Ghostbusters is good, it's good film, good laugh, Bill Murray, I love Bill Murray, then you'll probably like it. I think my mum does it. And she goes at one point, she goes, Karen, stop groaning. This is good. And I was just like, it's not good. It's not good. Because like when I'm hating something in a film, I cannot keep it to myself. Especially when it's something, and it's something that I have a lot of nostalgia for. And that's what it is with Ghostbusters. It's nostalgia. It's, the older I get, someone who's kind of dabbled in screenwriting and kind of likes writing fiction. It's got so much in there. Each time I revisit Ghostbusters, I always see something new. Ghostbusters doesn't change. You change, As a kid, I just like, it's busting ghosts, busting ghosts, I love it, busting ghosts. The proton packs and all that, they don't actually show up that much, whereas like Ghostbusters Afterlife has these like borderline pornographic shots of like proton packs. And another thing that really annoyed me in it is that everybody knew how to turn it on and off. The sheriff, who has never seen one of these things before, just was able to just shut it down. There was no human antagonist. You wouldn't count the sheriff. The sheriff was only in it for one scene. They got arrested randomly, and then they got immediately left out, and there was no consequence pretty much for them, getting arrested, destroying half the town. Couple of other things. I've never seen like a film that seems so empty. Like there were barely any like extras in it. They were at a school, and I don't think there were that many students. The town didn't have that many people. There was like maybe one or two shots. Just everything's like, first half was too slow. The last half just felt rushed, and it was weird. It was just, and at the same time you felt like nothing had really happened. But yeah, I might go a bit more on this. If you like that, let me know. If you like Ghostbusters Afterlife, yeah, good. I'm glad somebody enjoyed it. All these tweets about people like, I cried at the end. What? We're watching the same film. Ghostbusters is not a film that carries with it a lot of emotion. It's a comedy. It's kind of spooky.